Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome once again to the Southern Wing here at the Stink Bug Works. Today, we're going to have more meandering mental musings from the doctor and answering a couple of questions. Big B wanted to know how much this guy weighs. All up, with motor and no battery, it clocks in at 375 grams. You know, prototypes tend to gain weight. That's just their nature, so if you tried real hard, you could beat that, but 375 is not bad. You know how I build. I don't build excessively heavy, so 375 is pretty good. It's got a layer of 3/4 ounce glass cloth throughout. This is 67 grams, and this is 100 grams. So all up, ready to rock and roll. No battery, 375. Battery, 67. There you go. Not too much else to discuss on this. I think Big B is going to kind of take over and talk about his plans. He's going to do it a little differently. I kind of like to see that, in that it gives me some extra options to think about. In a way, it would be fun to use that entire ProBoat drivetrain, including the hard shaft, the motor, the ESC, and the U-joint here. The problem is, I don't know how long ProBoat's going to be making that. Stand by. I need jet juice. Stuff in the ProBoat lineup seems to come and go. They'll have a cool product, and then after a while, they'll discontinue it. And that's just the way of the market. So I don't know how long these are going to be available. I think you'll be able to get this little outboard unit for a longer period of time than you could get the entire drivetrain. So I'm trying to use that those cheap little 2 millimeter cables. Actually, they're 2.2 millimeter cable drives that come from China. The power in these systems is they'll handle that more than adequately, and they're like $8 for the whole drivetrain with a drive dog, a prop nut, and a plastic propeller. So, it's cheap. That's one of the things I really like about these little things, is they're cheap. Now, mind you, I could walk out today and buy several Oxidine twin Wildcats. It's not the money. It's that I like being cheap. It's fun. Anyway, speaking of being cheap and mind-amusing meanderings, the real reason I brought you here today is to inform you that this guy is done. Well, almost. I could put it in the water right now and run it. I've made the brackets to hold the struts. I've made, the struts. All that's good to go. Everything in here is mounted, cleaned up, ready to go. I have 3 of these motors. When I was setting it up, to get the prop rotation correct, I ran it on 2S. Now, these are like 2,500 kV motors. So they're more than capable of running on 3S. And as I was fooling around and spooling it up, one of the motors threw a magnet, or or, busted a rotor to where it's dragging on the insides now, and it's like, uh-oh, that motor's trash. So fortunately, I had another. So that got me to thinking. And it's always a dangerous thing when Dr. Jet gets to thinking. And what I'm thinking is, these may not be enough motor to push these props. These are the smallest counter-rotating props I could find that have an 1/8-inch shaft. I've got some plastic ones that are actually really nice. But I think they're a 2 or a 3 millimeter shaft. They won't fit this. So I would have to revisit something creative. So I'm thinking, because of the way the motor mounts and all that, I could just drop this bigger motor in here, and I can get these in KVs that will work well with 3S. I can get these down to about 3,000 RPM per volt. So 3,000 RPM per volt on 11.4 volts, that's right in the territory you want to be. So this is ready to go. I'm going to maiden it on tomorrow, provided ... that it's not raining. And the weatherman says, hey, it's going to rain. So this may not get its maiden tomorrow. I'm sort of suspect of these motor prop combinations. My expectations are not going to be really high. Plus, this is a really narrow little boat. It has the same issue. I had an MHZ micro iceberg, roughly this same size. In a straight line, it was a rocket. In a turn, it was a log. It just rolled along like a log. So we'll have to see. Now, I did have, in the MHZ one, I had a Aviox motor up high like this. So the center of gravity was fairly high. But I did have round cells down in the sponsons. So who knows? We'll see how this works. This is kind of just an experiment because I had this hull lying around. It's, not nothing I'm putting my heart and soul into. It's just kind of, well, let's see what happens here. So there you go. I thought I'd fill you in on some data, let you know. Big B wanted to know the weights. There you go. Until next time, jet out.